the course of trying all those diets, I kind of learned a lot about them. They did help in my weight loss journey, in my health journey, but I never felt healthy, right? I did those diets, a couple months here, a couple months there. So I gave them my maximum effort, right? The longest one I ran was the vegan diet. That one was tough. But, by about October of 2020 was when I really dialed in my nutrition. I started doing my research and I said, screw diets. These diets are not working. I learned and I taught myself about what proper nutrition looked like. Whole foods, proper eating, get rid of a lot of the sugars, processed foods, and all that fun stuff. So from October 2020 to February of 2021, which is 4 months, I went from 195 pounds to 159 pounds.
Good morning, everybody. It's 9 o'clock on Wednesday, and that means it's time for 1 Million Cups. Please let the Kauffman Foundation know that our chapter of 1 Million Cups is thriving. And the way you can do that is by pointing your phone at the QR code on the screen or on the cards that are on the tables and chairs around you. And that will let everybody know that we're still around and that we've got a good audience. There's something in it for you too. If you check in 3 times, you'll get the Million Cups pen. If you check in 6 times on separate occasions, you'll get the coveted 1 Million Cups notebook. And I'll point out that companies have been started with notebooks like that. Okay, so what's our mission? Our mission is to make it easier to be an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is a lonely journey. Your family and friends told you not to do this. Your old boss told you not to quit your job, but you did it anyway. So we're here to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for new and aspiring entrepreneurs all across the United States. And how do we do that? We do that with the help of the Kauffman Foundation. There are 1 Million Cups chapters all across the United States, and they help us with a software backend for scheduling and our presentations, and they train the organizers in how to coach and how to make 1 Million Cups pretty much similar no matter where you go. Of course, every community is unique, and every chapter of 1 Million Cups draws on that community's strengths. We are the top 1 Million Cups chapter in New Mexico, and we achieve that through a small denominator. There are other chapters here, and they will be, wow, the average age is falling here. The other chapters will be familiar to you if you dropped in. It's not a room full of strangers, it's just friends you haven't met. The format is the same, the questions are similar, and you'd be welcome any one of these places you go. So if you're on the road and it's Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., drop in at Million Cups and see what happens. Okay, so here's our key pillars. This makes us different from other things. These are presentations, not pitches. So in a pitch, there's something you want from the person you're talking to. They might be a customer, they might be an investor. You want their business, you want their investment money, something. So the most effective way to do that, of course, is to put your best foot forward and highlight those aspects of your company that are strong. We also know that there are parts of your company that kind of need work, and they kind of keep you up late at night. And some of those things are hard to talk about. But this is a place where you can do that. You can talk about your challenges and ask for connections and resources that the community has that you don't know about. You can ask for help in discovering your unknown unknowns, and believe me, you have them, right? So this is a place for authentic connections rather than speed networking. We're run for the community, by the community. All of our organizers are volunteers, and we're radically and intentionally inclusive. Everybody is welcome here, all kinds of entrepreneurs, from brick and mortar operations, food trucks even, all the way up to whiteboard companies that got a little bit of money for their idea, to companies that are scaling, to companies that have gone all the way and have come back here to show us how it's done and give us insights on how to grow our business. So everybody's welcome. And as part of our mission, I'd like to remind everybody this is an educational kind of format. So be polite when you're talking to other people. If you're talking to someone who knows a lot more about something than you do, listen carefully and ask good questions. If it's the other way around, please be patient. Remember, you didn't know that stuff once either. So let's keep it friendly and helpful here, and we'll keep thriving. It's also easy to apply to present. You talk to any one of our organizers, and we will steer you through the application process. We'll assign you a coach, and we'll try to make you look your best. And it's a pleasure to thank our volunteer staff. That includes me. I'm Paul Sutter with Equiseek. Lisa Atkins right here, COO of FatPipe. Eric Rins-Whitmore keeping things running in Santa Fe. Laura Jepson, where is she today?
She's online.
She's online, cool. On vacation. Danielle's here. Keiko and Oscar are making other folks look good. And I'm going to introduce Barb Dawson in a moment, who's going to introduce our presenter. And thanks also to Norm for being organizers. We also have to thank our sponsors. It's a pleasure to do that. Fat Pipe has been allowing us to present here without paying for 12 years. This chapter could not exist without the generous support of Fat Pipe. Dry Heat Photography, Deanna's making us look good on Facebook. More Than Organized. Miriam will organize your stuff, your thoughts, and provides creamer. Foundation for Sustainable Living. Franklin's here, and he will provide coffee, the original performance-enhancing drug. Beyond Energy for those for whom caffeine is not enough. Noventum Custom Software Development, software that doesn't suck, and Minuteman Press for all your ink on paper needs. So thanks to all those guys for keeping us thriving, and thanks for joining us. And I will hand it off to Barb.
Thank you so much. Good morning, I'm Barbara Dawson with Purple Malton. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce Flip today. He's going to be presenting his company called MiLEO. He'll tell us how he got the name when he gets up here. So come on up, Flip, and we look forward to hearing from you. Here's that for your slides.
Thank you, Barbara. Can you hear me? Perfect. Thank you, Barbara. I want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to come speak with you today. Like Barbara mentioned, my name is Flip Garcia. I'm the owner of MiLEO Fitness and Nutrition. My name is Felipe Garcia, but most people know me as Flip. I've been going by that name for over 23 years. If you tell someone out there that you met Flip or Felipe, they won't even know who you're talking about. So with that being said, this year's more for me to try to keep myself on track. So I'm going to go over a few things. I'm going to go over my background, my health journey, what it is that I do, and then my business hurdles. So just a quick background, 12-year Army veteran. I'm a retired lieutenant with the Albuquerque Police Department. So I pretty much spent my entire adult life serving others. And MiLEO, where that came from, it is pronounced MiLEO. So if you can see the color scheme within the logo, I got the OD green going into the military aspect. And into the Leo, you see the thin blue line, Leo being a law enforcement officer. So I kind of tied my background from the military, my law enforcement, into MiLEO. So it is pronounced MiLEO. And since I spent the majority of my adult life serving others, and basically through MiLEO Fitness and Nutrition, my goal is to save lives through fitness and nutrition. I've been doing it for over 20 years. Out on the streets, risking my life for others. Now I'm able to do that in the comfort and safety of a gym. I do still get cussed out on occasions, but that's on purpose. So that's in essence my background and who I am, what I do, why I do those things. I have a servant's heart. My mission is to help others achieve what I thought was impossible. And so with that being said, I'm going to go into what my health journey looked like. So like I mentioned, I retired from the Albuquerque Police Department. I retired in 2018. I was 250 pounds. Not in a muscular way. I was unhealthy, morbidly obese, had high blood pressure, pre-diabetic, high cholesterol, diverticulitis, non-ulcerative colitis, anxiety, depression, all those fun things that come with that type of job in which I was doing. In 2019, I was in the emergency room 4 times. I was in the emergency room 4 times for diverticulitis. On that 4th time that I went to the hospital, my doc looked at me and told me, when you come back, I'm going to take part of your colon and your large intestine. He didn't tell me, hey, these are the things you need to do to prevent you from coming back and not having to have parts of your organs removed. So that's what kind of drove me to look into what I needed to do to help myself. I was a little frustrated with the medical system in that regard. So I started really playing with a lot of different diets, all the fat diets out there that are real popular, right? I was doing the Atkins, Mediterranean, intermittent fasting, I mean, you name it. I was vegan for 10 months. For those of you that live a lifestyle that way, God bless you. It was impossible, right? But what I did learn is over the course of trying all those diets, I kind of learned a lot about them. They did help in my weight loss journey, in my health journey. But I never felt healthy, right? You know, I did those diets, you know, a couple months here, a couple months there. So I gave them my maximum effort, right? The longest one I ran was the vegan diet. That one was tough. But, you know, by about October of 2020 was when I really dialed in my nutrition. I started doing my research and I said, screw diets. These diets are not working. I learned and I taught myself about what proper nutrition looked like. Whole foods, proper eating, getting rid of a lot of the sugars, processed foods, and all that fun stuff. So from October 2020 to February of 2021, which is 4 months, I went from 195 pounds to 159 pounds. About halfway through was when I started incorporating a little more fitness because I was finally feeling capable. It didn't hurt for me to run on the treadmill. So as my weight was coming off, I was able to really start focusing on my health. So during that time was when I decided to certify as a nutrition coach. So I certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine as a nutrition coach, and I wanted to start helping others that were in the same position I was in, that thought that they could never get healthy. This is just the way it is, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I really started doing a lot of nutrition coaching during that time. And coming off of the pandemic, that was generally the entire time that I lost my weight, got healthy on purpose. Right. And I joke, right? While most people were putting on the COVID 20, COVID 30 pounds, I was taking mine off. But I was able to actually help folks during that process. And I started doing a lot of online coaching. And once things started opening up, I actually became the co-chair for the health and wellness program for the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. So which also gave me the opportunity to really start impacting more lives and start talking to more folks about the services that I provide. And one of the things that the chamber actually provided me was being a police officer for almost 20 years. I was not a business owner. I was not a salesman. I did not do any of those things. So it was brand new. And I was a very private person. You know, I never wanted anybody to know anything about my life and my story because I had to live a private life. So one thing that the chamber really taught me was opening myself. How do I put myself out there? Basically, make myself vulnerable. And I started telling people my story on what I've been through, and they're like, that is impactful. So it really taught me how to hone in and dial in what we call my commercial. Made me comfortable. Over that time, you know, I started going to the gym, started working out. People would start seeing me and they're like, oh, hey, it's like, so you're a trainer. Can you help me? He's like, no, I go to the gym, but you know, I can kind of tell you what to do. I'm a nutrition coach. I can help you with your nutrition. So that just continued to happen. So then I just did what was necessary. So I became a certified personal trainer. That way I can couple both services together, right? Nutrition, fitness, you got to tackle health across the board. I'm also a CrossFit level 1 trainer, trying to scare people away. I train all types of folks. I'm also a Special Olympics inclusive training instructor. So I've done a lot of work with Special Olympics training their athletes. And I'm also the co-founder of a nonprofit called Capeless Heroes Foundation. Why do I tell you all these things? A lot of this kind of leads into where my business hurdles are today. So I get a lot of my clients through some of the partnerships that I've established, through the health and wellness program with the chamber, through some of the relationships that I've established with some of those providers, you know, being med spas, working on a partnership with a medical research company that's actually doing pharmaceutical research, that I'm going to be helping their clients with nutrition and fitness to remove them, try to keep them from having to take medication for the rest of their lives. I also get a lot of my clients through social media, which I would love a lot of help with, and I'm hoping we can all kind of guide me in that direction. As we all know, right? As entrepreneurs, we are all the things, right? Owner, CEO, we're the finance guy, we're the marketing guy, we're everything, right? We're the networking folks. So it's real, again, there's only so many hours in the day, right? We all know this, right? I do get a lot of my clients through client referrals, right? Which has been huge for me. And that's actually been the majority of my clients. And obviously, Google is my friend. I would love some help with really optimizing my Google search as well. So that's one of the things that I struggle with, but you know, I have been found. And like I said, time is almost non-existent for us entrepreneurs when we're trying to run our business. So one of the big things that I really need help with would be, my client journey. So I work with all ages. When I say all ages, I've worked with early teens, and the oldest person that I work with today is 97 years old, right? And a lot of what I focus on is providing that direction to improve their quality of life, right? Whether it's just working on the foundations, the fundamentals of fitness, balance, control, core, all that fun stuff, but also, weight loss with a emphasis on body recomposition. I don't put people on diets because I learned diets do not work. So I have a really broad spectrum of clients that I work with. And I've talked to a lot of business folks within the fitness industry. And it's kind of one of those tough industries to crack, because people want to need your help. They have to want to change, or at least try to find a way to start making those changes. I can't care more about people's health than them. They've got to want it, right? So that's kind of a little tricky industry to tap into. But with that being said, I never sat down and said, hey, I want to work on this. This is my niche. These are the type of people that I work with. Because just throughout my entire career in law enforcement, I didn't just work with a specific type of person to help. So I feel like I have a really good approach to helping all sorts of folks with all their needs. So a lot for me is really working on that client journey with my clients. And that's kind of where I struggle. Again, a lot of that is because it's on me with my limited amount of time and all the things that I'm doing. And I'm sure, like I said, we're all familiar with that. So for me, it's really having those contact and touch points with clients. That's a bit of a struggle for me. From when they express interest to scheduling a consultation to find out what their goals and what it is that they want to accomplish, to getting down and actually providing that service. For me, it's like I kind of lose touch in between, because I do one-on-ones in person, and I also do remote and online coaching, which tends to be a little more difficult because I don't see them all the time physically. So, with that, that's kind of where, I'm hoping you as professionals can kind of help guide me and direct me either in the right direction, put me in the right contact with folks to kind of help me really figure out how to tailor this. One of the things as well is really scaling and growing the business. I'm a solopreneur. It's just me. I'm a one-man shop. So any and all advice that you can provide, I am all in. I'm all ears. So with that, I want to thank you for your time. My contact information is up on the screen, and I'm going to open it up for any and all questions and or advice.
We already have a line forming. Don't forget to introduce yourself when you take the microphone.
Hey, I'm Brian Steiner of Million Custom Software. Are you familiar with customer relationship management CRM software?
I know of it.
So we use that for our sales process. We'll say we have a lead, we enter them in. It's been 7 days since you talked to this person. You log an email, you log a call, you log a meeting. Okay, it's been another 10 days. You're trying to push them towards this conversion event. And it's really nice because then you can define the different stages where you're at in the sales process. You can have multiple different pipelines. Be happy to show you what we've got, but it's really useful for not forgetting to follow up with people and just defining this process and then pushing people through the process.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very much interested. I mean, that's exactly what I need. I don't have that process. My process is, I'm going to email them and see
Don't
where
forget,
they're at. Right. Yes. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Danielle with Conscious Crossroads End of Life Services. Awesome presentation. Thank you. And congratulations on regaining your health. Awesome. Since you already have obviously the contacts in the law enforcement side of things, and I'm assuming lots of EMS and first responders and whatnot. And I used to be an emergency room nurse. Lots of first responders, EMS folks, law enforcement officers are not in great health, right? Nurses, all of the people that take care of everybody else don't take great care of themselves often. Could you do group classes or group setups where you get the police department or EMS departments to pay you to come in to bring health to their employees?
That is a really good idea. Right now, I do work with a handful of nurses, work in the ER. I have worked with other first responders individually. I do have a program specifically designed for law enforcement, and that's more on postural restoration type work because of the way the gear and everything sits. I haven't really considered working directly with some of the hospitals to kind of go into their place and provide a service. So that's actually a pretty good idea. I'm gonna talk with some of the nurses that I'm working with because they work in different hospitals. So I'm gonna see if I could put that into work. I could probably make that work. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul Sutter, founder and chief scientific officer of Equiseek. We do genetic testing on horses. You have a really compelling story. And I'm just looking at the way that I've responded to different businesses over the time that I've been doing Million Cups. And once, I mean, there might be a business that I pass all the time and I don't know anything about. Once I hear that person's story and their journey, suddenly I'm interested. So I'm going to make a suggestion for someone who's already said they don't have time. Write a book, right? It's easier than you think, right? You have a great story, and the way you've outlined it, chapter 1, in the military, chapter 2, you're a cop, chapter 3, you got health, you could just go through that. I mean, just what you did here right now. You can get a ghostwriter if you want. We have someone who used to be an organizer here that helps people get stuff self-published. And if you gave free talks, let's say the Rotary, the Kiwanis, that kind of stuff, about the benefits of fitness, not just living longer, but feeling better, that's a really powerful story coming from you. And I think that would be a tremendous help.
Yes, I will. That's a good idea. I do have to find the time to do that, but I've never really considered putting it all down. I can communicate, I can tell people, hey, this is what happened, right? But being able to, I guess, for me, in that regard, kind of putting it together, and not an entire book, maybe like a little pamphlet, be like, hey, not pamphlet, a little reader, be like, hey, here you go. It's like, learn about me. These are the things, right? So I kind of like that idea. Yeah, without writing a full novel, I suppose, right? At least not initially, right? Just kind of hit on a lot of those touch points. And yeah, I guess I really don't know the context to reach out to be able to speak to those groups, such as the Kiwanis Club and Rotary. So if you have contacts, I would love to take those and kind of speak to those folks.
They're always trying to fill their schedule. So just like Million Cups, like we're like, can you get us a speaker, for next week? So they're always trying to fill their schedule. But I think the thing about a book is that you think your life is ordinary because you've lived it. It's what you're used to, but your story is extraordinary. And you should share that with other people and you'll find their life experience is very different from yours and they'll appreciate your perspective.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
I'm Marilyn Pruitt, 1 Million Cups. I am a life coach. It's called Our Peaceful Path. And I love your story. I have done a lot with my own health. I identify very well with your story. But the two things that I'm wondering about, number one is, do you have recipes for all these people? They don't know how to make or buy a healthy whole wheat bread. They don't know how to live without their desserts. Do you have recipes for those things?
Well, recipes per se, no. But as part of my nutrition services that I do provide, I do full nutrition plans where in my approach to nutrition is to keep it simple. I don't make complicated meal plans. Simple. You don't need 37 ingredients. That's what kind of turns a lot of people off. I am actually in the process of working with Jamie Bollinger, who is the owner of Black Iron Catering. She is an amazing chef. We're actually working on putting a healthy recipe book together to include desserts.
Okay.
And that's part of what I do in the nutrition coaching side of things. And most folks that sign up for my services either way receive nutrition coaching. So I help guide them through those questions of what is the right bread? What works for me? Because one diet, and when I consider diet, when I speak of diet, I talk about what people consume, right? So one diet may not work for the other, right? So there's no cookie cutter. So I actually like to really work individually to kind of help guide them that way. And in my full nutrition plans, I have a grocery list that comes in. So, right. So kind of, because that's not on your program, stick with this and kind of helps keep them on track.
That's amazing. I've had to come up with all of my own recipes and all of everything because of my health. If I eat right, then I can live right. The other question, the one thing that I haven't heard you talk about that has been a game changer for me is fermented foods. Have you ever thought of those? Have you ever implemented any of those?
Yes, absolutely. Especially considering a lot of the gut issues that I've had, right? So, as you saw, from diverticulitis, non-ulcerative colitis, from GERD, IBS, all those fun things, right? That generally come from bad diet. So yes, absolutely. Fermented foods are fantastic. I do incorporate those. Not everyone is a fan, but I really try to encourage them to try to incorporate them. As we all know, a lot of our inflammation from across the body actually stems from the gut. So if we can get the healthy gut through fermented foods, then everything just gets that much better. Absolutely.
That's amazing. If you want some recipes or other ideas, I've got lots of experience on that. Although my life coaching is different. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Miriam Ortiz-Pino with More Than Organized. You wanted to know about or get your client journey dialed in. And I think every single recommendation this morning is great, but it doesn't solve your problem of hours in the day and being a solopreneur and how to make that all work together. Have you done any kind of systematization of any of that stuff? Like even Brian recommends CRM. I'm a huge believer in that, but if you don't know how you're going to use it and what you're using it for to bring the clients on and what their experience of that is on the other end, it doesn't convert very well. So I just wanted to see if you've done any of that kind of strategy back of the napkin stuff versus just the tips that are add one more thing to your plate.
I have tried a couple of programs out there that kind of help streamline the process, that automate the process. But one of the things that I found with a lot of those programs is that it takes time not only to learn the system, but to set it up and create it. And again, not having the time. The extent of my CRM that I use is pretty much my booking software that I use to kind of build my client base, and I'm able to do email blasts and stuff like that, but nothing to kind of walk them through is like, hey, your consultation, and then kind of have a touch point after that leading into the services. So I don't have that process set in place.
There is a way to leverage your time, especially when you're a solopreneur, to think that through once, and then you have the details that you just redeploy over and over and over, whether it's your social media, your emails, your conversations, retaining your clients through referrals and stuff like that. So we should talk.
Absolutely.
And I had another point about recipes and things. All that's part of creating packages that you sell. And so I would act on all of the things that were said today, but we should figure out some packages for you so you know what you're selling to people.
I know that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you. You have my contact information,
I
please.
do.
You all have my contact information, so I'll throw that out there. If you have any ideas or just want to share something, please throw them my way.
Sue Perlosny, would you like to make your comment or?
Hi, Flip. Nice presentation. I'm also a certified NASM nutrition coach. I was a certified personal trainer. I don't do that side of it any longer. I'd love to have an offline chat with you about how to reach your customers and also to not dilute yourself. You have many services that you offer, and maybe first focus on the ones that you feel are fitting the real need of your target audience. I love the comment earlier because you have your contacts, with the police and with fire and rescue. That's a great target audience. And so are the nurses. So want to chat offline? I'd love to.
Yes, please, absolutely.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, my contact information is available, so please send an invite and I'll be more than happy to sit down and take any.
I wrote
advice
it
you-
down.
I put it in chat too. Thanks, Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cindy, and I have a startup called Find the Good Stuff. We put consumers together with farmers to buy ranchers and value-added food producers, but I'm not actually talking about that. What I wanted to ask you is, I'm sure you have a lot of success stories of the people that you've helped. I would love to see something about that in your presentation. I would love to have information about specific people that you have helped and changed their lives. And that to me would be so compelling. So that's my suggestion. Awesome. And I'd like to, sometime maybe we could talk about the nutrition stuff, because I definitely am about educating people about nutrition. So yeah.
No, that sounds great. Thank you. Now, and that's a really good point. I do use my Google reviews, and one of the things that I'm actually starting to work on is actually doing full testimonials with
Like a
some
video,
correct.
Like a before and after.
Right. And that's time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jolyn Jacob with Rodan and Fields, and I think the suggestion to automate, like to do the hard work of taking it slow down so you can speed up to, if you said it more than once, create a system for that is an excellent idea. And I think writing a book is a phenomenal idea too, but I think you could use your social media to get your story out to people. You can use stories in Instagram or whatever platform you use to just talk to your audience about your journey, to share those customer testimonials. So perhaps you're printing them out, but also use that as a screenshot and show what you've done for people to drive traffic to your business. So you don't have to physically go. You can show people what you're doing, and you can give little tips, little exercise tips, little nutrition tips. Don't give away too much of your content, just enough to hook them and then say, you want more, you can work with me.
Right.
And that's a great way to build your business online and reach a broader audience.
That's a fantastic idea. Thank you.
What's going on, Coach Flip? My name is Sanjay Sandiashenko, and one of my points that I wanted to make was what the previous point was that, like, I think a book is a great idea, but you can probably move faster with the content and get results quicker doing it on social. So the same thing is like tell the story in a book, just tell the story on social. Just that's quick. You set up a tripod and get a mic, which I think you have. If not, we can set something up. And then the other thing I want to do is just take a little bit of time to, as a testimonial to Flip. I had a motorcycle accident in like 2019. Flipped my motorcycle, I high-sided, so I went over the top, flew through the air, hit my head, and like shoulder rolled over, the bike bounced off in the back. I broke 6 ribs, liver laceration, collapsed lung, broke both of my shoulder blades. So I was pretty tore up, but I was only in the hospital for like 36 hours, and then the like specialist afterwards they were like, there's nothing you can do, you just gotta wait. So I didn't get any like counseling or like help in that regard at all on the medical side, and I worked out with Flip. After the first day, I was able to sleep better, because that's one of my problems. Whenever I sleep, like my shoulders are just killing me. Like it's painful to sleep. After the first workout, I was able to sleep better. After more consecutive workouts with Flip, it just got better and better and better. My pain went away throughout the day and all that stuff. So like Flip really like it's not just a workout. It's like wellness, really. It like can really help like whatever ailments you have. Not all of them maybe, but a good bit of them, like with the diet and then also like the exercises and stuff. We weren't in there throwing around like 150 pounds and like jumping off of the walls and stuff. Like we were just doing simple, straightforward workouts that were really effective and really helped me. So big shout out, Flip. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Sanjay. And for the record, I do follow you on social media, and I can see everything you do on Instagram and how you do the story and the journey of like everything that you do. So on that same point, I need to follow your lead.
Yeah.
The way you do it.
It's a lot of work. You just gotta push it, man. We just gotta do more volume.
He's actually helped me get a little comfortable in front of the camera. Also, I used to be one of those, again, very private. I want to put myself on social media. Like, I don't like it. But he's kind of helped me grow through that. And to touch on his point, you know, my approach to fitness is I meet you where you are in your journey, right? So wherever you're starting, whether you're coming off of surgery, injuries, or just been sedentary for years, I meet you where you are and I work towards your goals, right? So that's what, when I say I work with teens to seniors, it kind of all fits in there.
Good morning. Hey, Flip, I want to say that I'm enamored with your haircut. I'm Dr. Norm with drnormsconnections.com. I am in the dementia defense business. Chiropractor, retired. And one of the things about trying to avoid or reduce the risk of dementia is of course, get your hearing checked, exercise properly, eating the right kinds of foods, engaging with people, engaging your mind, and also nutritional supplementation. I'm just wondering if anybody asks you, what do you recommend, or do you even deny, or do you reject, or do you embrace the concept of nutritional supplements along with eating the right kinds of foods and the exercise?
So yes, nutritional supplements, sports supplements, all those things. I like to look at them as the word specifies, right? It's supplement. It is to supplement a deficiency within your nutrition, right? Whatever that may look like, right? If we're talking macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, definitely, I'm huge on that because a lot of folks, when they come to me and they want to lose body fat, they tend to freak out when I tell them you need to eat more to lose weight, right? And it's true because a lot of folks try to cut too much out of their diet. And part of that is they become deficient in a lot of their nutrients, right? So absolutely through multivitamins, of course, right? Because you can't eat enough food to get all the micronutrients that your body needs. So absolutely, definitely need to incorporate some level of a multivitamin, omega-3s. So a lot of the magnesiums are huge, right? So magnesium is one of the most complex and abundant micronutrient in the body, and we're so deficient in it. So being able to incorporate a lot of those things, and when it leads to, dementia and Alzheimer's, I mean, a lot of that stuff, I'm sure a lot of that stuff actually tends to start in the gut, right? So if we can fix that through proper nutrition and supplementation, 100%, we can help at least mitigate and or offset the onset of those diseases.
Super, I'm glad you said that. It's a really good response. I appreciate your knowledge of that. And would you be open to having a conversation with me about the high quality FDA type approved nutritional supplementation program? Okay,
Absolutely.
I will get a hold of you.
Thank you so much.
Steve with Beyond Energy and Santa Fe Mastery. I guess I'm just trying to wrap my arms around. So is your clientele that you're looking for more for training, like working them out, or is it more of a nutritional program or a blend? And then but that's it, then what's your capacity for how many clients you can help at one time?
So to answer the question, the first question is yes.
Okay.
All of those things. I don't just necessarily work with athletes and those that want to get stronger, right? So, I provide a pretty comprehensive approach to individual health. And that's the way I approach it. It's more on wellness that incorporates nutrition and fitness. And then also mindset, behavior change, and establishing healthy habits. So it's kind of all encompassed in there. So I don't really say it's like, oh, I only work with these folks. I do work with, semi-pros. Like I said, I work with a 97-year-old who thought he'd never be able to walk again. He's got his balance back and no longer needing his walker. So there is no specific client per se. So everyone, generally work with everyone. As far as my capacity goes, it comes down to the time. One of the benefits of being retired and doing what I do, I can be really picky with the clients that I choose. So I'm not your typical, big box gym that's like willing to work with everybody and anybody who comes in. I do a pretty comprehensive consultation with the folks. So I'm not in the business of trying, I'm in the business of doing. So if they're not ready, I will tell them that they're not ready and to come to me when they are. So I have the luxury of being pretty picky when it comes to that regard. And a lot of folks tend to respect that. And what I've told a lot of folks, so even if I don't have the capacity to take on those clients, whether it be from scheduling conflict, we just can't make both of our schedules work, personality conflict, or financial conflict, through a lot of the relationships that I've established through the health and wellness program with the chamber, I refer clients to other trainers, because if they're coming to me, they want to get better, they want to get well. And if I'm not the guy for them, well, let me direct you to someone that can help. And if that doesn't work, come back to me and I'll refer you to someone else. So in that regard, it's like I'm open and willing to work with most folks. I have specific days completely blocked out that I generally don't train. And I save those for those folks that really need the dedicated one-on-one, more comprehensive. So I have my general schedule, and then I have blocks throughout the week that I dedicate to those individuals. So right now I'm training pretty close to 25 hours a week. That's with like a free Friday and a free Saturday, right? So then I kind of plug folks in there. And that's part of the scaling aspect also within the business, right? It's also learning, potentially bringing on additional coaches. Because my ultimate goal, and so speaking of time and capacity, is I want to have my own place. Right now, I'm currently operating out of a gym that I have a really good partnership with. But ultimately, my goal is to be able to work on the business and not so much in the business, and kind of mentor additional coaches with the same mindset that I have to provide additional service, be able to offer more services to more individuals and impact more lives.
Great, I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, Flip. My name is JP. Nice to meet you. An amazing presentation. And I really don't have anything a whole lot new to add to what people said, but I want to say a couple of things to kind of like affirm the path that you're on. And I love the kind of branding you came up with and kind of taking your story and mixing it into your logo. So that's so having that, I think, is real important. So people kind of have an identifier, with a visual aid. One thing I was kind of thinking about is, so you're certified in nutrition and in physical therapy. And so a lot of people kind of look at those as separate things and kind of like, well, there's a nutritionist that you go to see, and then you go to a physical therapist. So you're kind of like not a life coach, but like a life support or like a lifestyle kind of coach, where it's like, okay, you can help someone get on the path of like the nutrition part. And then the physical therapy and the exercise kind of like, it all kind of blends in. So in your discovery of client discovery, when people ask you, do some people have more of like, okay, they have the nutrition part down, but they just don't have the physical training? And so how do you respond to that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Everyone comes to me with their different situation and their goals. Some folks, those folks that believe they have their nutrition dialed in, generally don't.
Okay.
Right. And I say generally, a lot of folks do a lot of what I tell people, you're doing all the right things, you're just doing it wrong. Right. So because a lot of folks, again, there's a lot of information, social media, on the web, and a lot of contradicting information. So there are folks that try to do the things that they need to do. So my response to them is, I definitely don't discredit what they're doing, but I kind of help them, put it in perspective and understand what their goals are, and is what you're doing helping you achieve those goals, right? And once we start peeling all that back, they start realizing, oh, I'm not doing it entirely the way I should, right? And for those folks that do have their nutrition dialed in, it's like, all right, well then, you need help on your fitness, well, let me help you on your fitness, right? Or vice versa. What I tell most folks, the working out part is the easiest part. You can go to the gym 7 days a week. Easy. Nutrition tends to be the hardest part for most folks. So, actually being able to work with the individuals based on what they've already done, what they're currently doing, and what we can do together to help them achieve what their goals are. So pretty comprehensive. So I meet them, when I meet them where they are, it's what are your goals? What do you need? Right. And kind of break all those things down and kind of help develop a plan for them going forward.
Yeah, because my point about the lifestyle is that someone comes to your facility and they do the workout and they get the education, but it all comes back to their habits at home. And it comes to their eating habit, their sleeping habit, other conscious habits they may not be aware of. So anyways, I do sound baths, and I'm a solopreneur, and I have a couple of little things that I do, different jobs, and help people. And I'd like kind of like your umbrella consciousness, where it's like, okay, if someone came to you with a physical thing, you're like, okay, well, what are you putting in your body first? And I kind of think that's where it starts. Also, it's like, how are people how are they dealing with their stress? And I think that's also where the physical workout kind of comes, because a lot of people are internalizing, and you get older and you have the cortisol and all these things happening. So anyways, it's just like, these kind of sound like off the wall questions, but it's things that I kind of look at in people when they're doing their presentation, they're selling their service. Because if I was to come to you and I'd want to ask I don't want to interview you first before you interview me, right, and kind of get that idea. And I think that kind of approach helps people. And that's part of the story. Right. Like we're in a co-story now if I'm your client. It's not just like you, it's me. So anyways, I appreciate what you're doing. And I just want to wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so absolutely on that point, I do work with all my clients on lifestyle and habit changes and identify all of those stressors. Like, what do you do? How's your sleep? How's your hydration? How's your stress? Do you have a support group, whether it's family or friends? What does all that look like? And kind of help them through all that. And it's funny you mentioned that, you want to interview me. That's in essence what I do with folks. Like, let me tell you about me and what makes me different than any other personal trainer or nutrition coach that you will ever go to is, first and foremost, I actually do care. My goal is to help you, right? But I lay it all out there, and that's all part of the process, is really learning about them and all of their habits, and they learn about me and how, not only my story, but my approach to things. So absolutely, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Morning, my name's Franklin. I'm a farmer. The nutrition part for me was easy and going to the gym difficult, but I began to see that any movement I make, if I mow the yard or trim the trees or walk to the corner or go back and get a donut, I'm still moving. One thing to tie in what Paul said about writing a book, but you'd mentioned that if you have overflow, you refer that to other trainers. Do you have a communication with them, or do you vet them to know that they are going to offer that same broad spectrum of motivation, nutrition, and exercise?
Yes. I will never refer someone to another trainer or nutritionist that is not going to provide them the level of service that I would provide them. I know probably 30 trainers or nutritionists that I've dialed it down to about 2 or 3 that I know will give them that quality service. So yes, to answer your question, is like, I don't just, okay, go do these things, right? I'll go to them, they're going to work you out and then send you home, because if you're coming to me, I want you to be successful. I want you to achieve your goals. So I'm not going to send you to someone that's not going to take care of you. And that's what I want. I want someone that's going to take care of the person to work on their goals.
Made a very good presentation, and I realized by sending to other trainers, you're not trying to scale up or monetize, but you really are trying to benefit the population as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Chuck Holman. I'm the founder of the ABQ plan, and just wrote the book 7 Steps to Ending Homelessness. And there's possibly a way we could partner together to help people that are coming off the street, getting healthier. They've already been through rehab and they've been through that and getting a lot of pressure there. We also have a $10,000 monthly grant from Google that we can use all the 10,000 clicks. There may be a way we could partner together to give you $1,000, $2,000 in Google clicks to help market your business and partner together. And that goes for anybody else that would like to partner with us. We'll try to partner with you to make a win-win for both of us.
Absolutely. Yes, that sounds like a really good idea. Like I said, I try to establish as many partnerships as possible, not only in the health and wellness community, but those folks that have folks that need help and need resources. And that's in essence what I do with the health and wellness chamber, or with the health and wellness program with the chamber, is not everyone needs exercise or nutrition. They need additional services, whether it be mental health services, medical services. I help refer those individuals to those resources. So I'm all about partnerships. I mean, the only way we can make our community great is if we all come together and help people. And that's in essence how I live my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Flip. Great job presenting and also handling all of the questions. Very, very nicely done. We, as a community, have 2 more questions for you.
Sure.
First one is, what specifically, is there one thing that we can do for you?
I think you already did. You gave me the opportunity to come speak to you, tell you my story, and you provided me with guidance and direction on what I could do to help not only my business, but my clients in the community. So thank you.
You're welcome. The last question is, red or green? Or green or red?
So I will say, I used to be green. And I say that only because a lot of my intestinal issues, I can't do a lot of spicy foods, right? I still suffer with diverticulosis. That's something that's not gonna go away. So to prevent any flare-ups or any issues, I try to stay away from spicy foods, but I love green chili.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I ran out of green chili in my freezer. I think it's against the law here.
They do have a freezer full of green chili.
Oh, good. All right. I'll take it out of your hands. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you for your time.
And now we do have a new person online.
Good. We'll do some we'll do some introductions. Let me just do events real quick. He's ringing the doorbell and the door's unlocked. All right. The Artificial Intelligence for Leaders with John Boersma is going to be across the street on July 25th. Hi, I'm Lisa. That's okay, just check in. I'll be done in just a second. And then we have accounting practices for small businesses. This is our great community member, Karma Welchel. She is the best small business CPA that I know, and she's affordable. So you should come to this workshop. We're actually going to do it on Zoom as well, so you can register with the Zoom link. This is fun. Children's Entrepreneur Market at Tuesday, August 13th at Hyder Park. So it's a farmer's market run by kids. Do you want to say anything more about it, Reese? No? Are you going to be there? Yep. Yeah? What are you going to be selling? Lotion. Lotion. And Daddy JJ is not allowed to help. He's supposed to sit in the back and just let the kid do his thing, so. This is fun. So EDO, which stands for East Downtown, we are going to have a walkable Wednesday at the Imperial Hotel. So if you want to meet neighbors in EDO, meet business owners in EDO, we're gonna have just a fun walkable event with drinks at the bar and food trucks at the Imperial on July 24th from 4 to 7. Laura and I are gonna go to that. You're welcome to join us. And early bird tickets for NMTC's Tech Summit are still on sale. You can find those online. So that's it. Paul, I'm gonna have you come take over and have people come up who are new to introduce themselves while I take care of my coworker.
Okay, sure. So if you're new to 1 Million Cups or you haven't been here in years and have just come back to join the fray, come on up here and introduce yourself. There's a lot of really helpful people in the audience. They'd love to meet you, give you a hand up. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just, you're not going to get anywhere as an entrepreneur being shy. Right?
There's also one online also.
Oh, there's one online. So with the online person, I guess we'll need technical assistance for that. So let's do in person first. Just tell us who you are, why you're here, and what you'd like to get out of it.
Thank you so much. My name is Rachel. I am an early stage founder of a company called Artisans of Nations. And we just launched our marketing and publication campaign. It's a biannual print publication that will be coming out next month, and we support Native artists and their culture and stories.
All right, who's next? Come on up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Raylene Chino. I am a new hire at Noventum who helps sponsors of this event. So I did bring donuts. They're in the back. If anyone wants any. I'm hoping to network with several of you guys and just get to know a lot about you and your businesses. And I'm pretty excited to be here. Thank you.
If you have an event that we missed, you're free to announce that as well. Anybody else?
Like we have someone online who's new. Dana. Hi, Dana.
Hi.
I'm gonna add you to our screen. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Dana Canetto. I work with women. I founded the Luminary Women, which is helping liberate women in love, leadership on executive levels, as well as entrepreneurial levels, really get them connected to their unique purpose, as well as, connecting them relationally whether it's clients or intimately partners, all those in a more empowered and just way. And I was invited by Barbara. It's really good to be here to experience this. Can't see everybody, but hello, everyone. And thank you for the information today and the gentleman who spoke. So it's very inspiring. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Dana.
All right, good morning, everyone. Again, Danielle with Conscious Crossroads End of Life Services. So 2 events I'd like to talk about. We're having a death cafe at our office today. Brooke Nutting and I with Death Doula Professionals. A death cafe, if you're not familiar, is just a really organic spot to come and have a safe conversation about all things related to death, dying, loss, and grief. There's no specific agenda. It's just come and let's chat. Conversation changes every time. And then next Monday, the 22nd at 5:30 at our offices, we will be showing Inside Out, a kid movie. We're inviting kids. We're gonna have pizza and popcorn, and we're gonna talk about processing emotions. Getting kiddos to talk about that stuff, getting adults to talk about that stuff can be challenging. So let's use Pixar to help. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian with Momentum. We have another WordPress work along next month on the 20th. So we had a good time yesterday. Deanna came from Dry Heat. I didn't recognize her without her camera. Yeah, we helped some people on WordPress and had a good time. So come next month if that's the 20th at 6 p.m. at Ideas and Coffee from 6 to 7:30.
I went the wrong way. Hello, I'm Shayla Lucero. I'm the owner of The Light Event Planning, and I'm really excited to announce a partnership I'm doing with Exhibit. They're hosting their annual B2B Expo next January 2025. It's going to be a great event. We have over 100 exhibitors, a lot of businesses all over New Mexico and Albuquerque, and we're doing a lot more educational sessions to help entrepreneurs and larger scale businesses. So if you have any questions, come see me and I'll give you some more information.
All right, that's it for newcomers and leftover events. Anybody else? Last call. Okay, so it's my job to call this out, and I would like to share with you something that I heard from Temple Grandin last Saturday at AuTFest, which was a festival to celebrate women in autism, and there were 4 autistic women on the panel, and they told us a lot, debuted a couple of films, and then there was a reception at Wilderwood. But the piece of advice I want to give you, because I've seen a lot of emphasis on healthcare and wellness over the past year in our presentations here. And I'm sure you've all seen, because you all know other entrepreneurs, people who burned their candle at both ends and their business failed. Don't do that. Don't be one of those people, right? So at AuTFest, these people are handling something really challenging. And they're talking about their life experiences. And Temple Grandin says, the next time you're on a plane, steal the emergency card, because what it says on there is put the mask over your nose and mouth before attempting to assist others, right? You can't run a company. You can't help other people. You can't do anything if you're not well. And sometimes you're going to have to face difficult truths about yourself in order to get well, but you have to do that in order to be successful. So get well. Thanks especially to our presenter for emphasizing that, for sharing your personal story. There's a lot of stories like that in this room. So all of you that have gone through that doorway and are keeping it up, good work. And for those of you who think you can put that off for another couple of years, please don't, because I'd like to see you keep coming to Million Cups in the years to come. Go out there, get healthy, and lift up entrepreneurship in New Mexico. Thank you.